for a lot of people who have found us from places all over, they've never actually seen it in action. So it's like they don't know. Like these guys could just be talking out of their ass or whatever. So, anyways, I've been posting some stuff, just like kind of some of the drills we're doing, some of the workout stuff, and I've had a couple nice clips of you just on the ice, like talking and to the boys, like when you bring them in and stuff like that. And I had two. One that I really liked was you were talking to the kids, you brought them in, and you were talking to them about kind of the energy thing, right? How it was just kind of flat, nobody's really talking, all that kind of stuff, and you can see it in how we, as the instructors, behave. Like we bring the heat, and I wanted you to talk a little bit about that side of things, on ice, off ice, why it's important, like why that's something that is such a critical piece to how we run things, and what it can do for kids when they actually start to have a voice, have some energy, have some life, get a little bounce to them, and all that kind of thing.
Yeah, so it's really interesting. Like there's every now and then when you're coaching or you have a player, because someone doesn't speak loudly or carry themselves like in a really fast, enthusiastic manner, doesn't mean that they don't have it,
Hmm.
but they need to be aware of that, right? But every now and then you get a group of kids, like they might have like we have one, and that's why I said it for that group. I was like frustrated now because it's been not just a couple times. It's like most of the time it's a very quiet session, but even in here they're quiet, right? That's not doesn't make them bad people or bad hockey players, but when you are playing this game or when you're with in front of a coach, and that's what I always say to them when I'll say, "You got it, guys," and it's quiet. So that to them that means yeah. But to me, it means I didn't know if you heard me.
Right.
I'm the coach. I need a response, right? Um. So, anyways, if you're quiet, these guys have they come on the ice all the time, and it's like there's a dead sound,
Yeah.
and unless there's a hit, but even when you're moving pucks and stuff, there's still a dead sound, right? It's a lack of energy sound, and it's like you can't even play hockey as well. You can't. Mitchie the first day told him, he goes, "What, Charlie? What's missing with these guys in front of them?" Eh? He goes, "No one talks." So I know there's some coaches out there that say that you don't speak because you'll tell the other team where you are. Well, that's stupid. So on the ice, it was quiet. This group was quiet at all times. So we're talking about they don't talk at all. They don't call for pucks. So what happens is it's like dead ice. It'll drive you nuts. You think it's you, right? So I teach that all the time, but it's not just about being on the ice. Like anyway, let's talk about on the ice. If you're not talking, it's quiet and you're just hearing pucks and it's like there's no energy. So I called them in just to say like, here's the deal, guys. You got like I don't know if you're responding or not. So like yes, no, or I don't know, coach. And it's okay to say either one of those things because if everyone gets it, then I assume we can go and get going here. If you don't, then I need to explain it again. And if you're not sure, then we'll deal with that. But we're calling for pucks and all that stuff. It adds energy. And I said, well, just watch what happens. Instantaneously, the energy level and passes get better. Everything just gets better. Now, don't act like an ass,
Right.
right? But like appropriately call for pucks and chirp and a little bit within practices and stuff. But anyways, my point is energy. Energy is so important because you. What I was saying to them is that as a hockey player, but in anything, but our world is hockey. You can't like if you walk into this room right now and it's really really cold, you can sit here and sit and shiver, and grab me a sweater, right? Grab me a sweater um, like you deal with it or sweat too much or whatever. And but there's a thermometer on the wall, right? The thermometer doesn't know any better. Like you have to tell the thermometer what to do. So you have to go there and say, well, it's too cold, so I'm going to make it hotter, or it's too hot, I'm going to make it colder, right? But when you're playing hockey, you can't be the thermometer or the thermostat, whatever it's called, right? It's all it's doing is telling you what the temperature is. You have to control the temperature. So don't wait for someone else to motivate you. Don't wait for someone to be the energy when you're on the ice. You have to come every day with that energy and it's not. I'm not talking about the cheerleading. I'm not talking about that. But even your physical, the way you walk around, the way you skate around, the way you react, the way you look at a coach in the eye, there is an energy that needs to take place. And if you don't have that energy, don't wait for Seabass to give it to you to say, "Oh, we need to tap for pucks." That should be in your DNA, right? So that you're here to work, you're here to be attentive and learn and whatever it is. That's me. So when you bring that energy, everybody it's a contagious. It's just
Yeah,
absolutely contagious. But so is when you fall asleep on the ice or
that's
you
right.
fall asleep in the gym. When you're low energy guy, it affects everybody. So like just to create a better environment for you and for your teammates and everything is be energetic. And I'm like I said, I'm not talking about being a cheerleader, but I'm just like, hey, how you doing? A good handshake, move a little faster, hold the head up high, like have good body language, have all those things that are contagious. And but it's just a really simple thing, right? If you sit like this with your shoulders down, you will start getting tired. If you sit up with your head up and you have some posture, then you feel like you have a little bit more man to you,
Yeah,
right? And it's the same with on the ice, right? You start act as if it's important and speak and bang sticks and call for pucks and stuff, then all of a sudden your physiology takes over.
yeah,
So that's all I was saying about that is like you and the only one that can control that is you. And I'll give you another example this morning because I've been on the ice so much. And I slept okay last night, but I had good sleep this week, by the way, all week. But
nice,
important.
important.
But this morning I woke up and I'm like, okay, I want to go to, I got to get to the gym. I got to get my workout in. So I got here and my body's tired. I've been skating, my feet are sore, everything, right? So I got on the bike to warm up and I was about 15, 20 minutes in. And I said, maybe I'll just bike today because that's the brain now, right? And then I said, well, you can do that and not work out, or you could just do it because I know what happens once you start moving, you move. So I had an incredible workout today. So it's the same thing. Some days you might not feel like I need to call for pucks or I need to have the energy, but you have to just do it, get going, and then you create your own energy. That's what I'm saying.
Yep.
Right? That's what I'm saying
Yeah.
is you have the ability to choose that. So like this morning with the workout, it wasn't whether I felt like doing it or I could talk myself. Oh, it's like you have a choice, make the choice. That's what it was. You
Yeah.
have a choice, make the choice. And I made the right choice. So you have an ability to do that every day when you're playing hockey, being in the dressing room, working out.
Yeah,
Right?
exactly. And it doesn't mean the raw stuff either. Because some guys have that, some guys don't. Some guys can be a little bit raw. Some guys aren't so raw. That doesn't mean that you can't bring the heat with however you feel most comfortable bringing the energy, you can still bring it. And that could just be standing up, looking somebody in the eye, having a little bit of an intensity to you, giving a guy a little bit of a shot, giving a guy a bit of a chirp, whatever it is. It doesn't mean you have to be yelling. It doesn't mean that you have to be the loudest person in the room. That's not what that bring the energy means. It just means have some life to you, however that works with your personality. Because we got a guy that I'm thinking of is Griff that we talk about a lot. And he's a guy where it's like, I can't tell if he has any life to him or not because he's very quiet. He's soft spoken. He's kind of more reserved seeming to himself, but he's not. If you watch him in the gym, he's actually got some zip to him.
Oh,
And
absolutely
he chirps guys. He throws a couple shots. If you're walking by, he'll tap you on the opposite shoulder to try to fake you out. Like he does this little stuff that just brings some life to the room, without being the guy that's always yelling the loudest,
obnoxious.
right? And
Like
obnoxious.
my kid,
Yeah,
you hear this freaking guy yapping all the time.
exactly.
But
Right.
it's good.
It's good if that's part of your
Yeah.
personality, but I'm not sitting here saying like you have to.
No.
If you've never talked, you have to be the loudest guy now. It's just there's
Yeah.
a way to do it
Yeah.
that works for the room and brings
Yeah.
the life up, you know?
Yeah. Well, but this is like we're talking about the whole system, right? Like it's the instructors, it's the
Oh yeah.
it's everybody involved in us need to have that. So like it doesn't have to be your words, your body language will speak volumes, right? So I had an instructor a long time ago. He couldn't understand why I didn't want him to work for me anymore. Well, he'd be on the ice and it was just he looked bored. And he said he wasn't. I said, but you look it. You're like when you yawn several times, maybe yeah, because we're on the ice earlier, you didn't sleep, but that's not my problem.
Mhm.
When you're yawning, that's not a good body language
Yeah.
sign.
Not a good message to
Yeah.
send. Yeah.
Or when a player or a coach is like feeling a little tired or their body language is if there's a net there and they're leaning on it because you know what I mean? They're leaning on a net instead of being in a ready position, if you want to call it that, then you're showing me like, okay, your give a shit meter's low or you don't really care about this right now. And that's energy sucking, right? Or an instructor or one of our guys working here, if they every time someone walks in, they're just sitting there and they don't have a proper hello.
Yeah.
Hey boys, how's it going? High five. Like if it's not a welcoming thing, then the kids are not going to feel welcoming. Like there's walls you can put up just because you lack energy.
Yep.
So what's great is like, so the point is everyone here, we've learned that energy is key. There's some days I don't feel like saying hi. Trust me. I'm not in the greatest mood, but I know that that kid needs someone to say hi. And you know that they need someone to give them a high five or a knuckle, not because they're hurting for it, but that's what we do here, man.
Yeah.
We're here.
And I think that
Let's go.
that's the